Head coach Stephanie White said today that Clark has been doing limited work with the team in practice, but is not yet participating in all the drills. You see her practicing here from today. She added that the team has plans for Clark, but they aren't going to be taking any chances with their future.
The WNBA is facing a crisis of unprecedented proportions. Caitlin Clark, the league's brightest star and arguably its most valuable asset, has opted out of a crucial game against the Atlanta Dream. A decision that has sent shockwaves through the basketball world and exposed a deep-seated hypocrisy within the league's handling of misconduct allegations. This isn't about a minor injury or a personal issue. This is a calculated protest against the WNBA's deafening silence regarding a serious accusation leveled against Brittney Griner. An accusation that many believe is not only credible, but also indicative of a larger pattern of preferential treatment within the league. The stakes are incredibly high, not only for the players involved, but also for the future of the WNBA itself, as this controversy threatens to unravel the very fabric of the league's carefully constructed image of fairness and equality. The silence is deafening, and the consequences could be devastating.
I know Caitlin was supposed to be reevaluated this weekend. Was she cleared to return to basketball activities?
I don't know if cleared is the right word.
Yeah.
I mean, we're ready to start ramping back up and make sure, it's completely different when you're just doing one-on-one workouts and when you're out there in 5-on-5, getting up and down the floor, moving laterally. So she's been allowed to do some practicing.
Clark's stunning decision to sit out the game wasn't impulsive. It was a calculated act of defiance. A powerful statement against what many perceive as a double standard in the WNBA's disciplinary process. Her absence, a sacrifice of personal glory and team success, highlights the depth of her frustration with the league's inaction in the face of serious allegations against Brittney Griner. The alleged slur, captured on video and widely circulated on social media, ignited a firestorm of controversy, prompting calls for an investigation and exposing a stark contrast between the league's swift response to less serious incidents and its inexplicable silence regarding this one. This isn't just about a single game. It's about accountability, fairness, and the integrity of the entire league. The impact of Clark's protest reverberates far beyond the court, shaking the foundations of the WNBA and raising profound questions about its values and its future. The implications are far-reaching and deeply troubling. But this is only the beginning of the story.
And we're gonna be smart, and we're gonna be cautious, and we're gonna play the long game and work her back in very intentionally.
Who is going to give Caitlin Clark their quad? Because if I go one more week without her playing, I will genuinely lose it. I will lose it. So someone, I guess I'll do it. I'll take one for the team. Cece, if you're watching this, you can have my quad. You can have my ACL. You can have the whole, you can have my wife's leg, okay? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And I'm glad, she's on the sideline. She's cheering. She's at the Pacers game on the floor. Cool. Live your life, Cece. I'm ready to see you back on the court. It's time to get back to the courts.
The immediate aftermath of Clark's protest was nothing short of catastrophic for the Indiana Fever. Without their star player, the team crumbled, scoring a dismal 58 points, their lowest offensive output in years, in a humiliating blowout loss to the Atlanta Dream. This wasn't just a bad game. It was a stark demonstration of Clark's irreplaceable value to the team, both on and off the court. The numbers speak for themselves. A significant drop in scoring average, a complete offensive collapse, and a devastating blow to team morale. This wasn't just a loss. It was a public display of the league's failure to address the underlying issues that led to this crisis. The defeat exposed a deep vulnerability within the Fever's game plan and underscored the extent to which the team's success hinges on Clark's exceptional talent. And the most shocking element of this devastating loss? The role played by Brittney Griner. The implications were far more severe than a single game.
Tonight, and we got blown out in this game. It was a horrible performance.
That we were talking about earlier today. And it doesn't take a lot of genius to lip read Brittney Griner, whose voice, by the way, is about as low as mine is, calling her trash and an effing white girl. Now, of course, if Caitlin Clark had ever suggested the same in reverse, using black as opposed to white in that sentence, that'd be the end of her WNBA career. But Brittney Griner is going strong. It's totally...
The irony, and indeed the outrage, was palpable. Brittney Griner, the player at the center of the controversy, the one accused of uttering a vile slur towards Caitlin Clark, was not only allowed to play without any repercussions, but played a pivotal role in Atlanta's decisive victory. This stark contrast between the treatment of the alleged victim and the alleged perpetrator fueled the already raging fire of public anger and outrage. Griner's performance, while undeniably impressive from a purely basketball perspective, served only to highlight the perceived injustice and the WNBA's seemingly selective application of its own rules and regulations. The optics were disastrous, and the message was clear. Accountability in the WNBA is, at best, inconsistent, and at worst, a carefully crafted illusion. And the fallout from this perception was only just beginning to unfold. The controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark's absence and the WNBA's response, or rather lack thereof, has ignited a firestorm of debate, criticism, and speculation. The selective enforcement of league rules, a stark contrast between the thorough investigation of minor fan misconduct and the deafening silence surrounding Griner's alleged slur, has drawn the ire of prominent sports commentators, political figures, and countless fans. Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, and other high-profile analysts have voiced their concerns, highlighting the perceived double standard and questioning the league's commitment to fairness and equality. The incident has unearthed a deeper issue, a systemic problem within the WNBA's power structure, one that seemingly prioritizes certain players over others, regardless of their on-court performance or their adherence to league rules. The implications are far-reaching, threatening to undermine the league's credibility and its carefully cultivated image. This is a battle for the soul of the WNBA, and the fight has only just begun.
Caitlin Clark has been picked on and abused ever since she entered the league in 2024, and now Brittney Griner is joining in on the action, saying that she is an effing white trash white girl because after she fouled out, she decided to take her anger and frustration.
It's been over 2 weeks since Griner said this. Instead, the WNBA was investigating a bogus race hoax made up by Angel Reese about Indiana Fever fans. And I say bogus because they found no evidence that supports Angel Reese's claim.
The incident between Griner and Clark didn't occur in a vacuum. It was the culmination of a series of events, a pattern of behavior that, when viewed in its entirety, paints a disturbing picture of targeted aggression and blatant disrespect. Reports of repeated physical altercations, notably aggressive defensive tactics specifically directed at Clark, and now the alleged racial slur, all point to a sustained pattern of hostility. This isn't simply a matter of on-court rivalry. It's a pattern of behavior that speaks volumes about the underlying tensions within the league and the perceived power dynamics that allow such conduct to persist. The video evidence, meticulously analyzed by online sleuths and basketball analysts, reveals a disturbing trend. A higher-than-average foul rate for Griner in games against Clark, suggesting either a lack of control or a deliberate attempt to target the rising star. The WNBA's silence in the face of such overwhelming evidence is deafening and deeply concerning. The consequences of this inaction are far-reaching and deeply damaging to the integrity of the league. This silence is not an option.
Look, I don't know for sure what was going on with what cameras caught Brittney Griner saying on the bench after she had fouled out against Caitlin Clark's Fever in Atlanta. I waited to comment on this until the WNBA was able to investigate it. I wanted them to issue a statement about it, but we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing. And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find significant.
On the WNBA's website, it said that Caitlin Clark and Sophie were both game time decisions for tomorrow's game. Stephanie White shut that down pretty immediately. She was like, no, they need to ramp up. We're playing the long game. Yes, they did things here and there, but we don't want to aggravate things and make them any worse. She talked about Sophie Cunningham's ankle, and she said that this is an injury that she has aggravated a couple of times, so they're not going to push it. And the same thing with Caitlin. She's like, we want to see them ramp up. There is a difference between obviously practicing and then being in those game time situations. So it seems like her mindset and the training staff's mindset is we are thinking of the long term when it comes to these two players. So we definitely will not see.
Caitlin Clark's decision to sit out the game wasn't just a protest. It was a calculated move with significant commercial implications. Clark's presence has become synonymous with the WNBA's recent surge in popularity, driving viewership numbers to unprecedented heights and attracting lucrative sponsorship deals. Her absence immediately impacted television ratings and sponsorship revenue, highlighting the league's precarious dependence on her star power. The economic consequences of her decision, while undeniable, pale in comparison to the damage inflicted on the WNBA's reputation and its commitment to its publicly stated values. The league's failure to address the Griner incident effectively jeopardizes its long-term financial stability and its ability to attract and retain both players and fans. The silence speaks volumes, and the price of that silence could be incredibly high. The future of the WNBA hangs in the balance.
They played pretty good in the first half. It was a tie game. It was 33-33. But they just fell apart in the third quarter because they're missing something. You know they're missing? Do you know what they're missing? I'll tell you who they're missing. This is who they're missing. They're missing her bad, and it shows, okay?
How are we gonna sell tickets if Caitlin's out for 2 weeks? Can she just play on crutches? I'd rather watch that than Brittney Griner. I know Caitlin's injured, but at least we have other stars in the league who people like to watch, like, fuck.
The Griner-Clark controversy is not an isolated incident. It's a symptom of a larger problem within the WNBA. The league's inconsistent approach to discipline, its apparent bias in favor of certain players, and its failure to address systemic issues of racism and sexism have all contributed to a crisis of confidence. The league's No Space for Hate campaign rings hollow in the face of its inaction regarding Griner's alleged slur, further exacerbating the damage to its image and its credibility. The situation demands immediate and decisive action, a thorough and transparent investigation that addresses not only the specific allegations, but also the broader issues of player conduct, league accountability, and the protection of all players, regardless of their status or marketability. The WNBA's future depends on its ability to address these issues head-on. The time for decisive action is now. The question remains.
Caitlin Clark's injury is tanking WNBA ticket prices. The star Indiana Fever guard suffered a quad injury and is expected to miss at least 2 weeks. This comes on the heels of the WNBA and other teams moving games into larger arenas to accommodate Caitlin's fans. And as sports fans, I think we all know that Caitlin Clark is the most popular women's basketball player. In fact, she might be one of the most popular female athletes in the entire world. Ever since she burst into the national consciousness, women's basketball has experienced a rise in popularity.
Come, no one wants to watch a game now. Angel Reese said the WNBA was popular because of her. Why are the views dropping? She said she was popular. How can we get people to watch? I don't even watch. To make the game more popular, we're gonna let fans bet on Angel Reese missed layups per game. Right now, the over-under is at 20.
WNBA is the most poorly ran organization in America, straight up. Without the NBA giving their yearly donation, this league would have 40 years ago. And that's the part that bothers me about the organization, the owners, the players. This inflated ego, thinking, oh, we built this. You didn't build nothing. You're just getting by the NBA charity check. And with this mentality, They have these inflated egos, and they're stuck in their ways. They think their way is the right way. This is going to be successful, and it failed for decades. Finally, a player that's worth paying the money for it. Caitlin Clark comes along. What do, WNBA? You beat her up. You treat her like crap.
The WNBA stands at a crossroads. The league's response to the Griner-Clark controversy will define its legacy, shaping its future and determining whether it can maintain its newfound popularity and credibility. The silence is deafening, the pressure is mounting, and the world is watching. Will the league choose to address these issues with transparency and accountability? Or will it continue to prioritize certain players and ignore the systemic problems that threaten to unravel the entire organization? The choice is theirs, but the consequences will be felt by everyone involved, from the players on the court to the fans in the stands and the sponsors in the boardroom. This isn't just about a basketball game. It's about the future of the WNBA, and the future is uncertain. This is a crucial moment for the league, a moment that will either solidify its position as a leading professional sports organization or lead to its downfall. Let's hope they choose wisely. Like this video if you agree, subscribe for more in-depth sports analysis, and hit that notification bell to stay updated. Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Let's discuss this.